Hi guys, Jack Scarf here, Director of Scarf Property Solutions. I hope you're all having a great weekend. And this month when I checked my credit report, the score was 999, which is the best that you can possibly get. Now that isn't me particularly trying to brag, but what I want to do is share with you how I've done it and how you can get the best credit report possible as well. So the first thing to consider out of the 7 tips I'm going to give you would be keep well within your credit limits. So if you've got a credit limit on your credit card of say £1,000, try and stay at least 50% or below. So if it's £1,000 limit, try and have £500 or less every single month as your balance. When you start tipping over 70, 80, 90% of that, it can really affect your credit score and bring it down. The second thing that I would tell you guys to look at would be to clear up any accounts that you've got that you no longer use. You might have 3-4 different credit cards that are just sitting there in the drawer not being used. You may even have cut them up and thrown them away. There may be bank accounts that you have that you don't use. They might be linked to a previous address, and someone at that previous address might have a bad credit rating, which could be affecting you. So make sure any unused accounts you've got, any you don't need, you just get rid of them. That's something that I've done recently and it's had a massive impact on my score. Third thing, make sure you're on the electoral roll at your current address. So again, if you're at a previous address, this can affect you. Make sure you're on the electoral roll. This has a really big impact on your credit score. And basically what it means is you can vote from that address and the council will pick you up at that address. And when mortgage lenders do a search, they will also pick you up at that address too. It'll all tally up and they'll be a lot happier with it. Another thing, hopefully you haven't suffered from, but if you have, is to satisfy or settle any debt that you've got in terms of missed payments, arrears, CCJs, defaults. I'm not talking about just paying off, oh, I've got a loan of 10 grand pay. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you've got a county court judgment registered against you, say £500, and you have the £500 in your savings to improve your credit score, pay that off. And it'll update every month and your score will improve. Now don't get me wrong, it still takes a period of time for that to fall off your credit report, but if you're doing everything else right and that's the only thing that's on there, satisfying it now will have a good impact on you in the future. Another thing to factor in would be to set up what's called a direct debit for all of your debts or commitments. So this is for your loans, your credit cards, your car finance. Make sure that they're always paid. To be honest with you, it's for anything. So it can be for your council tax, it can be for your utilities. Rather than saying, do you know what, I'm going to do that once a month, or I'm going to sit down every weekend or whatever and settle this, pay this bit, set up a direct debit. Comes out of your account automatically and it will repay all of your bills. That will have a big impact on your credit file. Something else would be, as I've mentioned already really, keep an eye on it. So if you don't know what's going on with your credit report, you're not necessarily going to know if there are things that are registered against you that aren't even yours. They might have been in someone else's name. They might have been at a previous address. You might have a CCJ registered to you, a county court judgment, which will severely impact your credit file, which is registered to a phone that you haven't had for 5 years, that's registered to 4 addresses ago. Whereas if you're keeping an eye on your credit file, you can ring that company, if it's a telecommunications company, a water company or whatever, and either pay it off or get it removed from your file if it wasn't actually your fault. The 7th thing is to be careful of doing lots of searches. So what do I mean by this? If you are looking to renew your car insurance, chances are your existing provider or insurer are probably going to hike the price up and hope you don't notice, and you'll just start paying the higher direct debit payment. The best thing to do, as you know, is to shop around and see if you can get it cheaper anywhere else. The problem with this is you'll be doing a credit search, a soft credit search admittedly, so they will fall off, but with lots and lots and lots of insurers. So it might be 50, 60, 70 insurers on any of these comparison websites and they will all go on your credit file. Same for home insurance. So if you've got lots of different insurances that are due at the same time and you do lots of searches, that's going to have a significant impact on your credit file, even if it's temporarily. But that temporary change could be the difference between you getting a mortgage or a loan or something that you want, and it might stop you being able to do so just because you're doing lots of searches. Now, I used a trick to get around the car insurance because I need to look for car insurance at the moment myself, and I'm looking at what car to get. So there are ways around it, but what I would say is just be careful of doing it. If you're buying 6 different houses at the same time and you're going through 6 mortgages, you're going to get 6 lenders marking your credit file at the same time. So maybe stagger that a little bit to give it time to reflect and give it time to refresh and go back to normal and improve that credit score, rather than whacking it with loads at the same time and the 5th or 6th lender down the line actually saying, no, we're not going to take you on, the credit score is too low. Now, it's important to note that some mortgage lenders will look at your credit score. But I think as a society as a whole, we're a little bit obsessed with the score itself of, say, getting 999, which is the best on Experian, which is what I use. Actually, some lenders, yes, they have either an internal credit score or they'll say you need a minimum of X. Or a lot of them actually look at the credit report as a whole, and you'll get through to a human being who will manually underwrite your case and your credit score. So it might be a case if your score is 150, but you've satisfied all of your CCJs and defaults and they were all 5.5 years ago. So if the lender's criteria says, as long as they haven't got any CCJs or defaults in the last 5.5 years, we do not credit score. And they look at the report as a whole. So that would work in your favour. And that's why I was saying earlier about satisfying any CCJs, defaults or arrears that you have on credit agreements, because that can really work in your favour. The best way to check this would be to get a good credit report. Now, I get it, Credit Karma, ClearScore, they're free. Generally, you get what you pay for in life, and they're not as detailed as they could be, and they're not even as accurate as they could be some of the time either. I personally use Experian, but you can use Equifax as well, and they do come with a monthly subscription cost. If it's a case of something coming on your credit file and you clear it straight away and it's removed, and it means that you can get a mortgage on the property you really want to buy in the future, definitely worth doing. So do consider the costs and the benefits for you if that's something that you want to do. So that is how I got a 999 credit score on my Experian report. There are some hints and tips for you. If you need any more information, any more advice, then do let me know. I'll be happy to answer any comments in the section below. Remember to like the video, but more importantly, subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll hear more videos before anyone else, and hopefully they can bring a lot of value to you. So thanks a lot for your time. That's how you get a 999 on your credit report. Any questions, let me know, and have a fantastic rest of the weekend. All the best. Take care. Bye bye.